Nothing has changed. You're just lonely and afraid of being alone. Welcome to Last to the Party, a Bravo rewatch podcast. I'm Megan, and I am fashionably late to all things Bravo.
I'm Wendy. I'm an OG superfan who's seen it all probably twice.
In today's episode, we are diving into Summer House, Season 1, Episode 7, Hoedown Showdown. But before we get to that, please hop on over to Instagram. Give us a quick follow. We are Last to the Party Pod.
Hey, you got thoughts on Summer House or thoughts on our review or even thoughts on what you might want us to do next? Because we are getting close to the end of Season 1. I'm looking at Megan. Are we moving on to Season 2 after this? What's our plan?
What's next?
If you guys have ideas, if you want us to review a different season of...
A different series.
Yeah, those are the words I'm looking for. Email us. lasttothepartypod@gmail.com. We do have a phone number too.
We do.
We use it for our other podcast, Girls Gone Hallmark.
But you can leave us a Last to the Party message.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you call, you're going to hear, hey, you've reached Girls Gone Hallmark. That's us. Leave us a message there.
The phone number is 949-329-8090. And you can leave us a message and we just might play it on a future episode of Last to the Party. Before we get into episode 7, let's talk about previously on episode 6. Everyone is second-guessing their relationship status. Christina and Everett might have broken up. It was kind of unclear. And Carl met the Workus clan.
Episode 7 is called Hoedown Showdown. It originally aired on February 20th, 2017. It's Lindsay's 30th birthday hoedown, and trouble's a brewing when Carl brings 2 uninvited girls to the party, much to Lauren's dismay. Meanwhile, Everett and Lindsay are on the outs, and Steven spills a secret that may make the on and off again couple turn the switch off permanently. Hey, Megan, what is your first impression of Hoedown Showdown?
This episode is all over the place. It feels to me like, you know, on a reality show like Survivor or Big Brother, where people reach the point where they start crying for no reason because they're overwhelmed and they're tired, and I feel like everyone's a little overtired from their summer escapades. Everyone's a little highly emotional. Everyone's behaving a little erratically. It just feels like everyone's a big mess.
Really? I can't wait to dig into it because I don't remember particularly, except for the breakdown on the paddle boards.
Well, yeah, definitely the breakdown on the paddle boards. Well, now I'm curious, what's your second impression of this episode?
The only thing more inconsistent than Carl's emotions is Lindsay's birthday hair.
Oof. But see what I mean? The inconsistency. It's back and forth. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Even productions, like the editing's like, oh, fuck it. We're just going to put all these scenes together.
Out of order. Who are you watching this week?
This week, I'm watching Lauren Workus. She's out here declaring herself the queen of away games, rolling in the next morning after like mystery hookups. Meanwhile, she's then fighting off tears because Carl's ghosting her. Watching her spin out made this episode kind of enjoyable for me. It's compelling TV.
It is.
I just feel like we've kind of maybe turned the corner just like a little bit in terms of like, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, will they, won't they? I think Carl's kind of saying like, we're not going to, and now she's upset about it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But the second she starts to do something about it, well, that's who I'm watching this week. It's Carl. He says things like, Lauren's the hottest one in the house, so that's why I hooked up with her. But she's more into me than I am into her. But also I'm very curious about who's driving her home in the morning after her away games. And then I have these feelings for Lauren, but I have no interest in being in a committed relationship. And I have no interest in saying no to any other opportunity that comes my way. And so I'm going to deflect all of my feelings for her into bringing 2 other chicks to the house, which in turn pisses everyone else off. He's just kind of a chaos master in this episode, and he doesn't own any of it because people get upset with him. They bring up several times, like, it's a house rule that we need to discuss if we're going to have guests, and it keeps coming up. And Kyle's like, is it shitty? Yeah. Do I care? No. He's just, lighting little chaos fires everywhere he goes.
Yeah, yeah. You know, as you're talking, I was thinking about this scene last week when Lauren is talking to her mom after she meets Carl, and she's like, look, he's going to come around. You need to jump in and have fun. Carl will follow, right? So I wonder if Lauren takes that information and now she's doing her away games. Like she's meeting people, she's going out, she's hooking up. And as guys do, like her mom was right. Carl's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, her mom says make him chase you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And not like he's even chasing her, but like he's seeing what she's doing and it doesn't make him happy. Like he doesn't like that. Like it piques his interest in her again.
We didn't really talk about that scene last week, but I was moved a little bit by that moment where Lauren broke down and she's like, I feel like I'm a disappointment to you because I'm not in a committed relationship. And I just want her mom to give her a big hug and be like, her mom seems very young.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was married early and Ashley's been with her guy forever. Her siblings are all much younger. They're not in a marriageable place.
Mm-hmm.
But she just feels like she's let her family down by not being in a committed relationship. I'm like, just give her a hug and be like, we all have our own timeline.
Totally.
Like you're fine. Also, I do want to say that I do have my eye on Steven a little bit this week. We see a phone call with his parents, and I think Steven is the person we get to know the most this season outside of the house beyond a surface level. We learn a little bit about Lindsay, a little bit about Carl. We see Kyle's family, but really Steven, most of his story exists outside of this house. Most of his story exists in backstory, especially in spite of coming out. He's in a really weird limbo space where he doesn't feel like he can talk to his parents about his relationships. I just think Steven they've created the deepest backstory for him on the show.
I agree that they've created he has the deepest backstory on the show.
It's not a compelling enough reason to keep him around because I want him contributing to the house, and I don't necessarily know that he is.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say, but I don't want the impression to be that I don't like him or his story, or I don't feel like he's contributing to the party house that I want to watch, but that's kind of how I feel.
Well, so I think the thing is, I think as a roommate, as a housemate, I think he's great. Like he seems to be a good time. He seems to mostly get along with people. You know, as a viewer, he's not bringing the content.
Right.
I don't dislike Steven, and I'm fine. I'm sure he's a great friend. He seems like a good friend, but the Lauren, Carl, Kyle, Christina, Lindsay, Everett of it all is more watchable.
Yeah, agree.
I got a favorite quote. Do you have a favorite quote or scene?
I have a favorite quote, yeah.
Is it Kyle asking nipples in or nipples out?
No, it's not. Was this one his overalls?
Yeah. That's it. Kyle's a good time. He's funny.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite quote was Lindsay at the top of the episode. She's like, she's talking about it's her birthday. She's like, I'm single and 30. That's fun. She's not happy about it. And honestly, I think being 30 and single should be fun. I'm sure it is for a lot of people, but who am I to judge? I was like married at 25 and probably planning a Pottery Barn, wedding registry at the time. So I don't know what fun is.
Same. Totally. I was married at 25. Lindsay has such a yearning for stability and family and being loved that being single feels really threatening to her.
Sure.
And so she can't lean into the fun of being 30 and single because she feels so worried about what it means for her future.
30, flirty, and single. Yeah. It's funny because when she's like, I'm turning 30, and I was like, okay, it's been 9 seasons and she just had a baby. Is she on the brink of turning 40 this summer?
She must be.
Is it possible? Are we going to get a Lindsay Hubbard 40th birthday this summer on Summer House?
I'm so curious to see how Lindsay Hubbard Summer House season 10 works.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to be like, those are Gemma's weekends with her dad?
Maybe.
Because she's not bringing Gemma to the Summer House.
No, I imagine she's probably there like every other weekend or when she can come out. Like, the girl knows. And we did get a break in that fourth wall in the season 9. And I know we're jumping ahead and spoiling things if you haven't seen the show, but basically there was like the big question mark that they talked about at the end of the season of like, is this your last summer house? And I saw when she announced on her Instagram just a few weeks ago, she's like, I'm coming back. She's like, how else am I going to make money? Yes, she's an influencer now as well. But if Bravo is still willing to pay you,
Yeah.
don't you make it work?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, she's not going to be messy Lindsay from season 1.
Sure.
In fact, I actually really like Lindsay Hubbard in season 9, pregnant
Me
Lindsay
too.
Hubbard,
Me too. She's a good friend.
voice of reason.
Yep.
I love Lindsay Hubbard. I'm excited to watch her turn 40 this summer, if she is. My apologies if the math ain't mathin'.
What did you like about this episode?
Well, back to Kyle's comment about his nipples in his overalls. Look, I love that Kyle leans in. It's Lindsay's birthday. This is maybe like one of the first themed party,
Yeah.
right, that we see. He's all in with his costuming and all that stuff. And it's just
Yeah, they're opening up their Amazon packages.
which was really funny because didn't you notice you saw like a Home Goods or a TJ Maxx?
I thought I saw a TJ Maxx tag on Lindsay's boots.
I mean, when you're balling on a budget
Yeah.
during this time, season 10, I'm sure they got the good stuff.
Like Paige's wardrobe in season 9 is off the charts.
Right, which is so funny because her first season, she's like, my mom taught me never to spend a ton of money on clothes. And she was like Queen Amazon, like,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she even does those like Amazon lives anymore where she's like shilling stuff. Now, side note, have you checked out the Daphne pajamas?
I haven't. They're kind of
seen some
expensive.
mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's size limitations, which is kind of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're expensive.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a $200 pair of pajama lady.
That is not true. You have a very expensive pair of pajamas.
I have one. I don't even have those anymore. My dog ripped them last year. I had one
That is
pair
the
of.
saddest news ever.
I had one pair of print fresh pajamas.
Yes.
I did love them. They were given to me as a gift. Within my own budget, I am a Walmart pajama kind of lady.
Those Walmart pajamas, by the way, if you guys are looking for some nice pajamas, come on over to Midlife Bestie.
Yeah, don't sleep on that Joyce Bun brand. That's what I was wearing last night.
I brought a pair with me.
A couple things I liked from this episode. I did like the paddleboarding scene. First of all, it looked fun. Like it was visually interesting. They're out of that damn house. I do at some point in these seasons kind of get tired of the interior of these homes. And what I was thinking about is when you watch television homes are very richly decorated. There's no plain walls. There's no plain surfaces. Like there's a lot going on. These homes are not like that. This is where real people live. And so after a while, it's kind of like, I'm tired of seeing the inside of this house. So I liked the change of scenery with the paddleboarding. It made me wonder when we start to make the transition to more house parties and less out of the house activities. But anyway, while we're paddleboarding, Lauren and Ashley have a moment that we referenced earlier, and Lauren kind of breaks down. She's like sad that the Carl thing did not work out. She's sad that she wanted more than what it turned out, and she's sad that she can't seem to find someone. And then Ashley like sympathy cries.
Right.
They got that sister bond. She's like, I just want you to have what I have. But my favorite moment is Steven watching this from afar. And he's like, I was going to paddle over to the girls, but I can tell that Ashley's crying. And I can tell because she's making her cry face. And then he does his impression of her cry face, which is just so good.
Yes. That is a great scene. And my heart hurts for Lauren in this scene because she's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I just want to shake her by the shoulders and be like, it's not you.
No.
Carl is the problem here.
Yes. I think she's also feeling the pressure of her sister bestie moving across the country.
Oh, for sure.
And now she's what's she gonna do without her wing woman and her best friend and her built-in everything? And I feel that for her. I kind of like, so Steven gets himself into hot water. It doesn't seem like he does it intentionally, but it's definitely been the case this summer. He gets in the middle of a house hookup. We saw it happen with Carl and Lauren. We see it happen again when he spills the beans to Lindsay about Everett's whereabouts on his night out. And I got to say, in this case, I like it because anything that moves along the Lindsay and Everett ultimate breakup is a good thing in my opinion.
I agree. But how is Steven here any different than Christina in terms of like, oops, shouldn't I have said that?
Okay, well,
It makes me sad that Christina and Steven are really, it feels like their job is to stir the pot.
yeah, I hear you. Okay, so tell me how you feel about this. Is it more important that Steven says something because Lindsay and Everett are in an established relationship? And so if he knows something about that relationship, a big lie that Everett has told in the wake of their getting back together, is it more important that Lindsay has that information? Whereas there's nothing to be gained. Kyle didn't technically do anything wrong by hooking up with Katie while he was hooking up with Amanda because they weren't in a relationship. So Amanda doesn't necessarily deserve that information as much when Kyle made it clear that he wanted to be single and on the prowl.
Sure, but is Steven in the same pickle that he was in before when he knew about Carl's date to the wedding? He knew this information,
Yeah.
and then like he was like, "Well, do I stay loyal to Carl or do I tell Lauren?"
Well, but see, I think it's the exact same situation, except this is another situation where Lauren didn't deserve that information. She and Carl weren't in a committed relationship. On the other hand, Lindsay and Everett are in a committed relationship. It is expected that Everett is not sleeping with other women, or at least sleeping in a bed with other women. And so, I mean, I think it's messy. I don't think it's clear, but I can kind of understand why he chooses to involve himself here, was he chose to stay out of the Lauren and Carl situation.
Yeah, I can see that too. Part of me, though, Steven knows what's going to happen if he tells this information to Lindsay.
Yeah, there's going to be a blow up.
Right. But is it going to then lead to a breakup, or will they just like circle back to their makeup, breakup cycle?
And the result is that everyone's mad at Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question. Does he think it through? And does he decide that at least Lindsay is dealing with all of the information?
Right. And some people just like to stir things up for the fun of it. Not even that. I mean, this is true information that he knows, right?
Yeah, but people like to be in the know and be like, I actually know something that you don't. And that gives me a little bit of power in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know Steven's motivations.
No, and that's what's so interesting, because when we learn about Steven's backstory about who he is and where he comes from and et cetera, and he seems like a good person. So I have to lean into like he's telling Lindsay from a good place. He's not just telling
I think so
her
too.
to stir
Be
shit
relevant.
up. Yeah, exactly.
I do think so. I'm giving Steven the benefit of the doubt here. Let's take a quick break and come right back to talk wishes.
Hey friends, are you loving Last at the Party and want even more Megan and Wendy in your life? Well, we've got something just for you. Join us over on Patreon, where your paid subscription of $5 a month will get you 4 bonus episodes from us. It's all the extra chatter you won't hear anywhere else. It's your best way to support the show and hang out with us a little bit more each week. Head over to patreon.com/Megan and Wendy and become a member today. We promise we're even more fun over there.
Well, I got some wishes.
So do I.
Let's hear them.
I have a feeling this is one of yours. The girls calling Carl's guest hoes and hookers. This girl on girl crime here. Woman on woman crime. If you know, you know. This kind of judgy energy is peak Bravo. Stassi Schroeder is guilty of it all the time on early seasons of Vanderpump Rule, where like you just are attacking another woman for existing
in relationship to a dude that you have or had a relationship with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Mean Girl vibes. I don't like that move at all. In fact, even when I heard it, like calling somebody a hooker, I'm like, that's gross. Stop it right now. You know better. You women are in your 30s. Well, stop it.
Even grosser. So look, things aren't going well for Christina. And I feel like she's trying to ingratiate herself with these women. I feel like when she told Amanda about Kyle's hookup, she was trying to like be like, I'm the cool girl. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
Like me. even though we don't see it happen. And then in this episode, when Carl arrives with those women, she says, who are these hookers? And Lauren laughs. Lauren doesn't say like, not cool. But then when Christina is called on it, Lauren kind of gets in her face and she's like, wait. Don't say that you did that in defense of me, because I would never call those girls hookers. Props to Bravo for the quick cut to Lauren laughing at Christina's comment.
Yeah.
Because Lauren kind of took Christina down in this moment.
I agree. It's actually my messy moment.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, but we can talk about it then. My next wish is Everett and Lindsay's deep talk. They have this heart-to-heart about her estranged sister reaching out to her. I feel like this is important context, but it also feels like filler in this episode. It is clear to me that we are seeing Everett and Lindsay are two wildly different people and handle emotions differently. And I felt like they were just doing this to give Everett and Lindsay kind of like this soft reset to justify them being together again.
Well, they're both, my wish is that they would have stayed broken up, even though it's clear that they're both on their best behavior. In that moment, Everett doesn't really seem quite sure how to interact with Lindsay, because at one point he's like, I don't know, just text her like, thanks for the message. And then he softens it a little bit. I just want to say that when Everett shows up to Lindsay's party, he's like, I felt sick thinking about being without you. If you break up with someone, even if there are good reasons for that relationship to end, it's normal to miss them. It's normal to feel sad. It's normal to mourn the end of that relationship. You need to give it a minute before rebounding right back to that person to figure out, am I just sad because there's a change in my life, or am I sad because I'm meant to be with this person? Because their rebound was too quick.
I agree.
Nothing has changed. You're just lonely and afraid of being alone. How about a did you see that moment?
I referenced it in my first impression, but the editing chaos of Lindsay's birthday. She gets to the bar, her hair is down, then her hair is up, then her hair is back down, then it's up, and then it's back down. I'm like, it just was such a mess. But like, certain people are not watching it as closely. Like you and I have this like trained eye to look for these kind of like editing inconsistencies.
Well, it's like when I watched the Eras Tour movie, and you can tell that it's shot from multiple different shows, because different, like close up, her hair is looking very different than it is in other scenes. And that's all I could see. And I was like, oh, she has chips in her nail in these shots, but not in these. I mean, it was like all my brain could see.
Totally.
So I do, once I notice those inconsistencies, I can't let it go.
Yeah. Also, a random, did you see that? We laughed while we were watching this episode. We're like, remember Priv? Does Priv exist anymore?
Well, I assume not. That's my did you see that too. The on-demand makeup and hairstyling, it was a real moment. But I wrote, the girls honestly look better when they do their own makeup. So maybe it's clear why this company went out of business. They're still in business.
They are still in business. Yeah.
Well, I will eat my words.
They are still in business. We don't see them as often on TV anymore as I used to, especially in these early Bravo.
Well, because I think you're right. I think now when we see hair and makeup teams, we're seeing professional hair and makeup teams. Like people have their own hair and makeup team. We don't need to call these people. This crew was not at the point to have their own hair and makeup people, so they needed the on-demand option.
Yeah, exactly. Because like half those housewives now, when they travel to like foreign countries on their vacation episodes, they take
their glam team with them.
That is so wild to me. No, paying for their like flights and rooms and
I know
services. That's money I wish I had.
Can't comprehend.
No.
How about a low-key iconic moment of the week?
You talked about it already, but when the guests confront Christina about the hooker comment, so uncomfortable. The tension is so thick.
And when the one girl's like, are you going to cry? It looks like you're going to cry. I'm like, stop saying that.
She's going to cry. I mean, if I was Christina, I would have like turned around, got into my car, and drove into a new life. There is just no way.
I would not have stayed in that kitchen. She's like, fine. I would have like, excuse me, goodbye. I need to leave this room.
No way.
For me, it's Carl and Everett at the driving range. Everett asks Carl about the time he almost proposed and kind of trying to feel out like, how'd you know? Which I'm like, gah, please don't go there.
Yeah, obviously Everett thinks like potentially losing Lindsay now means that he should propose to her is
I can't even.
bad theory.
However, my favorite moment was Carl says Lindsay looks so hot at her birthday party and you should lock that shit down, which is like very prescient considering what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if Carl kind of always was attracted to Lindsay, like was interested in Lindsay. They do talk about being like such good friends. To me in this season, you don't even really see them interact that much.
She's too busy with Everett. Lindsay
Yeah.
really only interacts with Everett and then secondarily Christina, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, you're right. And then maybe on the off chance, one of the twins, but that's it, really. Well, Carl didn't lock that shit down. He tried.
You tried.
Wow. All right.
What's your messiest moment of the week? My messiest moment of the week is Jacqueline asking the hairstylist to smell her hair to determine if she should wash it.
You're
And my
right.
favorite part of that is the hairstylist is like, you need to wash it. She doesn't even say like, no, you're good, girl. Because Jacqueline's like, I might hook up with someone later. Give my hair a sniff.
Okay.
How dirty does... I mean, I only wash my hair every few days too, but I would never ask someone else to smell my dirty hair if I was concerned it
That
wasn't
almost
clean
feels
enough.
like smell my armpits. Like I would never
But at least you can smell your own armpits.
smell my hair. I would never. Gross.
Well, hey, thank you for listening to this episode of Last to the Party. We'll be back next week with season 1, episode 8. In the meantime, please follow us in your favorite podcast player. And if you're enjoying this podcast, we'd love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.